Hey, everybody. So today we're talking with Ed Stulak. Ed Stulak is with Real Broker, and he's an expert when it comes to Instagram and personal branding. And Ed's going to be teaching us how he uses his own Instagram account, up to almost 50,000 followers, to not just generate leads for his business, but also how to build his business, grow his business, and most importantly, build a personal brand. Ed even does have an Instagram course. If you guys are interested, you guys can check that out. Ed, how are you today, man?
Amazing now that you gave me that cool intro. What's up,
Yeah,
brother?
man. Oh man, I'm really happy to have you on here. I am pretty ignorant when it comes to Instagram, so I'm very excited to learn from you how to actually incorporate this powerful tool in our businesses.
Oh, we'll definitely dive in.
All right, man. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is how do you actually use Instagram for lead generation? As you know, like I use YouTube for lead generation. I get 100% of my business and have for many years now from my YouTube channel. And so I'm really curious about this business model and how you actually use Instagram to generate business. Yeah, talk to us a little bit about that. What are the strategies that you're using today?
The the beautiful thing about Instagram is that it's the digital business card of today's era. People go on there and they learn everything about you that they really need to. They learn about your life, business, your lifestyle, family, your sales, your travel, vacations. They really learn about you. They see your face, they see your profile picture, your bio, websites, phone number, contact us, like everything is there that one consumer might need to learn about you, as opposed to any other platform, which doesn't really give you as much info. And if it does, you got to kind of little dig
Right.
into it and find it, right? So the way I look at it is when I go and network with someone, I don't really give out my Snapchat or my Facebook or anything of that sort. It always comes down to, hey, are you on IG? Hey, are you on Instagram? Hey, what's your Instagram? Like well, that's always the question that keeps getting tossed around in combo. So if that's the case, then I have business cards. However, I told my tailor, his name is Oscar. I was like, Oscar, I need my Instagram tag on the inside of my suits. So now anytime I go ahead and like chat with someone, they'll be like, "Hey, you got IG?" I'm like flashing them. I'll be like, "Yeah, follow me."
I
And
love it.
it's
So
just
that's
something
that's
like
your
that.
resume essentially, right? Your
Yeah,
Instagram is essentially your resume for your business. And that does make
absolutely.
total sense. Because for on YouTube, a lot of people they can go and just look at my thumbnails, but it's not like my full resume of everything that I do. So that's pretty powerful. I do like that.
That's what I look at it as, right? And that's just the foundation of what I'm talking about. Like you're asking the IG lead strategies, right? That right
Yeah.
there is the first step. It's handing the business card and having that conversation. That's just step one, meeting someone. Because this business is all about relationships, right? So we have to engage in that sense. Now that we have actually tossed out over that business card, now people really get to learn about you. Now this when it comes down to posting, being consistent, throwing out IG stories, doing lives, doing sharing stories, sharing IG stories, things of that sort. Like really being consistent and being a billboard on that social media. So now it's like you're making sure that shelf life of your business card is high, because now anytime you post, that person is probably going to see you post. You've come to realize that anytime you follow someone, maybe 2 days, 3 days later, you're still seeing anything that they're posting, whether it was from 3 days ago, whether it was 24 hours ago, you're seeing their posts because IG pretty much said, hey, you just followed this person, so you're probably going to be interested in their stuff that they have to share. Here it is. Here's the highlight for the next 3 days, and let's see how you engage with it. And now, if you're engaging with that person, IG is going to just constantly throw their content out at you. So now that's the next step, is being posting, is throwing that stuff out there, engaging. Now you have that person that you just exchanged your digital business card with seeing your stuff automatically. You don't have to go and reach out to them with a text or an email or, hey, what's going on? Just wanted to follow up. There's no follow up. It's yo, look, I just posted something, comment on it, like it. And they do
I,
so themselves.
I love that. So like I guess if you came down to like, hey, would you rather hand somebody your business card or get them to follow you on Instagram? That makes 100% sense to have them follow you on Instagram. It's like a living business card that's constantly like staying in front of them, providing value to them.
Always. Oh, it's just like the magazine that someone sends out to their clients. Someone's going to
Right.
send out a magazine, longer shelf life, right? It's going to be on that table, not countertop, for the next like 3 weeks because it's all a magazine. It's nice. I don't want to throw it out just yet. and they're constantly seeing your stuff, as opposed to a business card, trash. It's
Right.
inevitable. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So
Yeah.
same thing with your Instagram. If it's pretty, if it's attractive, if it's valuable, longer shelf life. If it's not, tossed, unfollowed.
I love it. So that's almost like that helps with lead conversion. Like no matter where the lead comes from, an open house or a friend or anything, that's going to help you convert more of those leads into businesses by having that active Instagram account like that. And so you said people got to start posting. Like, what are some of the posting strategies? I'm just now getting on Instagram. I feel really dumb that it's only in the last like 12 months I got an Instagram, and I'm trying to figure out like what exactly should I be posting. I've been doing a lot of stories lately. Like, what? Let's talk about stories. Like, what are you supposed to be posting with stories? Is that like, hey, this is my breakfast, and this is what I'm going to an open house today?
Stories a little bit more so, and like more of the behind the scenes of your lifestyle. People really get to learn about you a little bit more. So on my IG stories, I'm very vulnerable. I'll post whatever it is that I'm doing. It's like, this is who I am. If you like it, engage, view this. But if you don't, it's okay. That's fine. This is my life. This is who I am. I'm a big whiskey guy. Some people are like, hey, I don't know if you should be posting alcohol on your page. I do that because that's me, and I engage with my clientele that way. And my clients reach out to me saying, "Wow, that's a cool bottle, for example, of Scotch, single malt," and we start talking whiskeys and alcohol. And is that unprofessional? No. To some others, it might be, and that's okay. Let those others go work with someone else that's a little bit more cliche and original. That's fine. That's fine. But this is how I like to operate my business model. So I like to be authentic, vulnerable, honest, and that's what I do on my IG stories. On the
Okay.
feed, it's a little bit more filtered, right? This is where you kind of edit that video, you edit that picture, you make it a little bit prettier, you make it more engaging, you make captions that sound more engaging. Like the last one, I made that a little bit more edited. That's not something I would just post on an IG story, because that took me a little bit of time to go ahead and edit and create and so on and so forth. Look at that. I'm at a bourbon distillery over in Kentucky. I just went with my father the other day, being honest about it. Had clients reach out to me saying, "That's sick." This is more edited, something a little bit more edited in that sense. So that's what I would say is, when it comes to your IG feed, make it a bit more like what you're posting on YouTube. Stuff that it took you some time and love and energy and money potentially to put into creating that video. So yeah, you put that on a feed. IG story, more in the now. It lasts for 24 hours. Just be yourself. Post as much as you possibly can over there
Hey,
as
there's
well.
me. Look at
Look at
that.
that handsome dude. Look at you.
I love it, man. And so I noticed that on yours, you don't have a lot of selfies. A lot of these are like somebody else taking pictures of you. Is that kind of like the best practices, is to have maybe a third party take a picture of you? Or even just selfies. Like I don't have I have almost no pictures of me on my Instagram page. It's like everything else. Should I be putting more pictures of me on my Instagram?
Great question. And everyone's personal brand is going to be a little different. You have a person like Kylie Jenner, for example. All she does is post beautiful, fashionable, sometimes bikinis, sex sells. So girls, women, like, if they know they got it, and they're going to post it. And I applaud them for it because it works. It breaks necks. It makes people look that way as opposed to the other way. This is
Right.
how they get sales. God bless. That's fine. Some people are very shy. They don't want to get on the camera. They don't want to be there at all. Like, please don't take photos of me. Take pictures of my house instead. And you know what? For some people, if their listings are sexy and they look nice, trust me, those are going to do just fine. They don't have to post their face. It really comes down to you, how you enjoy posting out on social media. So if you like posting yourself, by all means, just fire away. Fire away with content of yourself, of little selfies and this and that. Go for it. But sometimes, if it's just not your thing, don't force it, because eventually it's going to feel like a job, and you don't want social
Right.
media to feel like a job. Let it be fun. Let it be enjoyable. This is documenting. After all, like, we're talking about Instagram here. Let's really like talk about why it even started. I think people forget the whole mission of what Instagram was created for. It was a purpose. It was purposely made to be a photo album for life digitally. That's what it was for. IG back then was not allowing videos. IG Reels was not a thing. IG Stories, IGTV was not a thing. It was just photos. It was a photo album, digital photo album. That's it. So document your lifestyle, enjoy it. And this is where people like myself, like yourself, seeing social media does actually work for the better to benefit your business, career, so on and so forth. This is when we started realizing, like, let's not just document, but let's also show value and talk and teach and educate and entertain. And from that will result business because, psychologically thinking, people get engaged, they learn about us, they click that buy now button, and then they buy into our services or products. That's how it kind of diverted into what it is today. But IG, the roots, documenting. Just enjoy the
Right.
process. It's such a
Okay.
fun platform. Enjoy it. Have fun.
I
If people
love
don't
that,
like it,
man.
it's okay.
And so with the standard post and not the stories or the reels, just the standard post, like they give you a spot to do a description, and a lot of people add hashtags to that description. That always really kind of confuses me. What is like the best practice with that? Should I be putting in a description and putting hashtags? Is that going to give me more visibility? Can you abuse that? Can you game that? Like do they? I know on YouTube, if you abuse the description and tags too much, it actually penalizes your videos. Does Instagram do anything like that? For if
Very
you're kind of,
similar.
yeah,
Sure, sure. Very similar to that. Back maybe 6 years ago, you were allowed to post up to 30 hashtags for every single post that you post up on Instagram, and you can still do that. That's 30 is the limit. But really, it starts to get a little spammy. So Instagram, I don't want to say flags it, but it doesn't show as much exposure to those that use maximum hashtags because it does seem a little bit spammy. However, the magic number has been anywhere between like 5 to 8 to maybe 10 hashtags, and that does pretty well from what I've realized. Now, are hashtags useful? Do they actually work? Are they effective? I would say to a degree, yes. And the way I perceive hashtags to be is very similar to you losing a dog and you go and print out a flyer and put it on every single pole that there is, every bus bench, every shopping center that there is, and you're posting it everywhere. It's exposure, but are really people looking at it? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, unless they, see it for a second. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm curious." No, all right. But you might get that one person, maybe, right? They'll be like, I just saw a random ass dog walk into my backyard. Like, is that it? Like, no. And you might just get that one person that calls. So very similar to the not calling, however, clicking on that post and engaging with it to go ahead and stumble upon your page. Is it effective to a degree? So personally, I don't spend too much time in my content creation strategies of thinking, all right, this post, I just edited it for 5 minutes. I just did this, I did that. I don't put any time into hashtags. Like I just
right.
see, all right, this is about Instagram tips, real estate, realtor of TikTok, realtor of Instagram, whatever it's related to, and I'll just throw it out there. If it works, great. However, one hashtag that I always use and I recommend people to use is your own name. Hashtag first name, last name. Use it always. Throw it out
Yeah.
there. Doesn't matter. The more that you rack up, because now if we type in a person like Grant Cardone, Gary V, Ryan Serhant, like it's going to show how many hashtags. 300,000, 200,000, a lot, right? So you want to kind of rack up your own name as well.
Yeah. So what's funny is like this is almost exactly what my advice is for YouTube as well. So the YouTube algorithm is very similar to the Instagram algorithm,
Oh, okay.
where you can have a boatload of tags, but you can add all these tags, all this time doing keyword research for these tags, and it really doesn't help your video out all that much. And so you're saying that really less is more with Instagram. You put less tags, you're going to put more value, more weight behind those tags than if you had 30 of them. And on YouTube, I also recommend that people put their name as a tag so that when somebody's searching for their name, they're absolutely the first one to show up. So that's pretty interesting.
Well,
Now on YouTube, what I recommend people doing for lead generation is to make local content about their city, about their state, about their county. Is that the best practice for you to reach that local audience and really generate leads in your city as well on Instagram to make content about your local city and local attractions?
if that is your MO and your motive at the end of the day, then yes. But if it's not, then no. Mine is not to really get local exposure for me, for
Right.
my personal brand. My personal brand is to get nationwide, worldwide, global, international exposure. So my hashtags, my content that I create is not really specifically targeted for New Jersey real estate because that's where I sell real estate. Not necessarily. I do also target the people out in, I don't know, Sweden. They sell houses in Sweden, right? They're probably interested in my content that I create for realtors. They're probably interested. I want those people to follow me as well because I don't know, some sort of business might happen from it. They might buy into my course. I'm working on a book. They might buy my book. So I'm not necessarily just looking to create my content for my local area. However, the person that might be, then yes, make the hell out of those videos. Here's the local coffee shop. Here's the best 5 stores. Here's this street. Did you know that this street is haunted? Don't go there. Or like creating videos like that is going to really make the local people follow you as the local expert for whatever it is. You're obviously talking about cafes. Maybe you'll talk about cigar shops, whiskey, distilleries. If you're talking about that stuff, then maybe at that point, people are going to click and follow you regardless if they want to sell real estate or not with you. They're just going to really look at you to be that person. Like, you are the go-to. If I ever need a recommendation or I need help, like, just look at you as the local expert. You are the local sheriff in town online.
Right.
Like, let me reach out. So yeah, I would definitely say that.
I love it. Yeah, exact same thing on YouTube. You got to figure out who your target audience is. Do you want your target audience to be people living in your city, people in your state? Do you want your target audience to be the entire world? And that dictates what type of content that you want. And for me, I tell most people, like, you really focus on your local audience, your city, your area, your county, something like that is usually probably the easiest audience to go after out of everything.
Definitely is. And I mean, I'm sure that the content that you've even created, the majority of the results that you would get, and tell me if I'm wrong, but are most of the local type of videos that you're posting, like more
Yeah,
so the niche specific.
yeah, it's about those cities, about counties, about states, and there's almost like no competition for me still today. There's almost no competition for YouTube videos about my city or about the local area, and so yeah, it's kind of like a gold mine right
And the
now.
beautiful part about that is that that story that you just said is probably very equivalent to many, many, many other towns out there and states out there. So those that are listening and watching, take advantage.
Yeah. So what I tell people is that YouTube is kind of a new frontier. And right now there's a land grab to go out there and see who can be the first person to make content about your area. And I feel like Instagram is probably the same thing. If there's nobody in your city making Instagram content about your city, that's probably a heck of an opportunity right there to really kind of take that territory before somebody else does.
For sure.
All right. So we talked about a little bit about stories and we talked a little bit about like the regular Instagram post. And what about Instagram Reels? This is actually something I've been having a lot of fun with on my own channel, or on my own page, just because I like that you can take all the other people's audios and kind of play it over top of your videos, which is kind of neat. But what's kind of the best practices? What are you seeing agents doing with Instagram Reels?
So I'll start with TikTok real quick because
Okay.
IG Reels started because of TikTok. So I have to give, the credit over there. TikTok blew up because it gave so much exposure to people out there, right? You can post a video about anything, and TikTok will push that video to the masses or to maybe 5,000 people, but still, one might not have 5 followers and yet they're getting 10,000 views. Like, how is that possible? So then you have stuff like this, right? My IG reel that I posted, very similar to TikTok, how TikTok works. IG Reels is cool because it's short, it's simple, it's sweet. This is me playing some hockey. This is me doing a challenge with the brokerage that I was teaching about TikTok actually in IG Reels, things of that sort. So the cool thing about IG Reels, right? They saw what TikTok was doing. They wanted to take the same concept and implement it into their platform because they knew IGers were going to TikTok. So IG naturally said, screw that. Let's do the same thing. Let's do it a little bit better. The cool thing about IG Reels today is that it similarly gives out the same exposure like TikTok. Not exactly like TikTok, but it does give out a lot of exposure. So I would highly recommend those to create IG Reels today more than ever before, because right now that's where you're getting the majority of your views. Oh yeah, you have fun on there. So you were asking what kind of content should one create on IG Reels? And I would say entertaining, educational, something that makes people do a little ha-ha, right? Little pointers. Pointers are huge. Yeah, dance, find something attractive.
I'm gonna try one of those, man.
Please do. I encourage you to do it. It's gonna do good. Maybe you could do something about YouTube. Here's 3 tips that you need to know about YouTube, or something like that. Or about the
Yeah.
local area. 3 places that you need to visit if you're in Durham, North Carolina, whatever it might be. So that's kind of what you're looking for here. But yeah, IG Reels is definitely the place to be creating content today, for sure.
Okay. So that's kind of the biggest like bang for your buck right now on Instagram is really
Yes.
focusing on those reels.
Absolutely.
Perfect. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is branding versus selling. And I know like for you, you're all about creating that personal brand, that personal persona. And what I tell people is like I am a marketer. I'm not a salesperson. I am terrible at sales. I like marketing. And so this sounds kind of similar to that concept as well. Can you explain to me like what you mean by branding versus selling?
90% of people sell and 10% of people brand. Those 10% of people who brand end up selling 90% more than those who sell.
Ah,
That is a quote that I heard by Gary Vaynerchuk. And ever since he said it, it played such a beautiful chord for everything that I'm doing in life. It just makes total sense. Attraction. You attract people to you as opposed to you go and trying to sell to them. I know you don't like to be sold to. I know I don't like to be sold to. I'm sure any person that I walk up to and I start talking real estate, they're thinking I'm about to sell to them. I'd rather them come to me. But you got to
right.
reel them in. You got to reel them in somehow. I guess there's a few little hints there. You got to reel them in. You got to IG reel them in. How you doing? So you got to reel them in.
Nice product placement there.
Thank you. No big deal. So you got to talk to them, though, in a way that they want to be talked to. You have to sell to them in a way that they want to buy. So this is what I mean. When it comes to branding, you have to make yourself so attractive, so unique, so pretty that people turn heads to you as opposed to them. And this is what I was talking about before. There are some women out there are some guys out there that just have the physique and they know that their body sells. We would be silly if we said, no, that's not the truth, right? Like people look at you and they're like, damn, look at Malcolm. I say that every day. I look at you, I'm like, damn, he's too good looking, damn it. And I wish I had what he had. This is one factor, one little factor to so much more. But it's really coming down to the brand. And it's really the brand that attracts people, which ends up in the sale. That's what I highly believe. So it really comes down to that quote that I started this section off with is, 90% of people sell, 10% of people brand, 10% of people who brand end up selling 90% more than those who sell.
I love it, man. And I absolutely believe in that as well. And I tell you, it's a much more enjoyable business, creating a business around marketing and branding and attracting people to you rather than you're trying to actively go out there and kind of hunt leads down and everything. Because I do the same thing in my business. I do attraction. I don't go out and hunt leads. They come to me. And it sounds like, Instagram is absolutely a powerful tool to do that kind of personal branding. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is like, what is some examples of your best performing content on Instagram? What is it that really blows up and kind of what will actually like get people to grow their Instagram and grow their business?
Cool. So one of my favorite posts that I ever posted was actually was a post where I allowed my community to speak. That was the cool thing. What's up, guys? New real broker agent from South Jersey. What's up? That right there is something that the content that I posted was something that allowed my audience to speak. I gave them a voice, and they took action, and that's what I love. So if you really want to give your audience a voice, create a caption that makes them engage. So the caption that I created, and it was a simple post. I think it was just words. It wasn't even a selfie. It wasn't a video of me or anything of that sort. I was not even in it. It wasn't a house. It was nothing of that sort. It simply said, introduce yourself in one sentence down below, start networking, or something like that. And everyone started going crazy. My caption was, introduce yourself in one sentence. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? Go.
Wow.
Oh my God, Malcolm. People were going nuts. I think I ended up with like 1,400 comments. And I commented maybe twice or 3 times because I didn't even have time to read these captions. It was nonstop. But it gave people a voice and they wanted to be seen and heard. People love to be seen and heard. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if you give them that option, trust me, they're going to take action on it. They're going to take advantage. And that's exactly what they were doing. And I was looking at some of these little conversations. Hey, I'm from Jersey, for example. Oh, I'm in real estate. And then someone else was like, oh my God, I'm from the same town. And they're like, oh, where are you from? And then people started just talking, and it was awesome. You know, people really want to be seen and heard. So if you can give them that
I love
option,
that.
it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And so do you do that was that an Instagram reel that you did that in?
No, it was a post, just a regular
Okay.
post. Yeah, white background, text in the middle, introduce yourself, networking event, something like that. I don't remember what I said, but in the caption is what I said.
Right.
Introduce yourself in one sentence. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? Go. People went nuts.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a good performing piece of content.
And so do you do that often where, because you do that on YouTube quite often. It's like, hey, comment down below with whatever. You ask them a question, they comment down below. And it really helps with the engagement and the algorithm. So do you do that often where you make posts and you ask people a question or you ask them to comment down below?
I do. That's really what sparks up conversations. You know, from a viewer right now, right? You and I, we're just scrolling through Instagram, okay? The psychology of us when we see a post and immediately, I don't know why, but we look at how many likes it has, how many views, and how
Right.
many comments. Am I wrong?
Yep, you're right.
We look right at it. And if we see the comments and it says 2 comments and it's been posted for, I don't know, 5 hours, you're thinking, or 5 days, But if you
It's
see
social proof.
social proof, social proof, but now you're seeing 300 comments in 1 hour, you're like, what the hell is this about? Like, okay, I got to dive in. And that's what reels you in, right? It's the psychology
Nice.
of that. And so if you can give people a reason, an incentive to go ahead and comment, let those comments build up your social proof. Because now when other viewers are seeing your post and they see how many comments, they kind of want to be a part of it. They'll be like, all right, well, they're nosy. They want to see what's
Right.
up. And they'll go in there and then maybe they'll comment and then they'll go back and forth and and it's that right there that'll make people another thing to reel them in.
So,
It's cool
like,
stuff.
from
It's crazy.
a tactical standpoint, for like a local
Okay.
agent, so if they could, you're saying they could make a post like, "What's your favorite pizza place in Annapolis, Maryland?" Something like
Sure.
that.
Oh, for sure. Something like that. Or another one that's been very engaging that I've come to realize. Someone posted it actually today on a Facebook group, and I'm totally stealing it. It said something like, "How in one sentence, write or in one sentence, like write the terms that would win an offer. Wrong answers only."
Right.
Oh my God, wrong answers only. People are starting to now like literally take away from their lunch break, away from their prospecting, away from door knocking, and they're like, okay, I gotta think of something here. Like, let me get creative because mine's gonna be the funniest one.
Yeah.
Holy crap. It makes people stop life. Like, that's engaging as hell. That right there is something that you're giving people a voice. You're giving them a reason to comment. And they are going to go ahead and take their time, come up with something cool and silly and funny, but valuable. They're going to post it, hoping that other people like it and laugh at it and stuff like that. And then when people do, they feel, oh, my ego boosted for the day. Let's go.
I love it,
That's what
man.
social media does. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So you could do like, "Why should you move to Maryland?" Wrong answers only. Something like
Yes, love that. That's hilarious, actually. See, stupid things like that. Why would you go to
yeah.
Maryland? It's wrong answers only. And trust me, the people in Maryland are going to put the craziest things. I'm sure they're gonna make fun of themselves and stuff like that. It's funny. Call to action, yes, Mercedes. Yes, what's up, Mercedes?
All right. And so, like, if somebody's like me, they're just starting from scratch. Like, I've only been on Instagram literally like less than a year. I'm still figuring it out. What is some of the best practices for starting from scratch? If somebody started a brand new Instagram, how do they build that local audience? How do they start generating leads and growing their business on Instagram?
So, number one, make sure that your profile is looking right, mint. Make sure it's mint. Because kind of coming back to what I was saying before,
Hmm.
it's your digital business card. This is what people are going to see right away. So they're going to see your profile picture, they're going to see your bio, they're going to see your info, contact, everything of that sort. That right there is your number one step. You want your first and last name. And by the way, you see how it's bolded, Ed Stulak, real estate? If people type in the search bar Ed Stulak, my profile will pop up. If someone types in real estate, it's going to pop up as well. Might not pop up as number one, but it might pop up somewhere there. So this right there is SEO friendly. So this is why there's a reason as to why I put real estate there. So majority of the world that is searching for real estate might just stumble upon my Instagram page as well. So that's another little hack right there. Then you put in a little, what are you, entrepreneur, realtor, what it may be, and then kind of going into everything else. You know, who are you? Where are you from? What is it that you're doing? Contact us button. So this right there is primary. Get this out of the way. Next, what I would say, you want to start building up your highlights. So that right there, where I have life. Yes, right there. Okay. Those are the highlights section. Correct. So you have, if you were to click on life, it'll show you everything about my lifestyle. It'll show you show me playing hockey, traveling with family, things of that sort. My next one is about my press. So press is more so just press, publications that I've been interviewed on, things like that. So all that stuff is in my highlight about press. The next one is going to show IG tips. So anything to do with tips, I just throw into here. So engagement, posting, this, that, anything that you need that I think is a valuable tip about Instagram, I post in here. I look way young. Oh. The next one, IG course. We have everything about my course, so some highlights, some testimonials, people that did join the IG class. And then my last one, I used to do podcasts. I do like little interviews. So I do have that as well. I did an interview with Brian Serhant. That was one of my first ones, Brad Lee, and so many others. So, that's what I throw in there. So it's kind of organized. It's a very organized section of everything that I really want people to see is in my highlights section. So now that you see what I posted, it can give some sort of idea as to what others can post about. So others can post their sales, their current listings, their Zillow reviews, anything of that sort, they can throw that in there. So that's what I would say is if you're starting Instagram from scratch, make sure you have a professional picture. Make sure you have your bio set up. Start putting in those highlights as well, which, by the way, you can only post highlights if they are an Instagram story first. So they have to be an IG story, and then you can make them a highlight.
That's good to know. So let me see what my profile looks like. Let's see if I'm following any of these rules. Oh God, I'm not. I don't even have a profile. I got nothing.
You have a profile picture though. You got that, and you got one highlight, and you have your son, you have family, so you're starting to push that out there. But see, stuff like this is showing your vulnerable side, who you truly are as a person. Right off the bat, I know that you're a family guy. You love your kid. You love family. This is right away what I learned from Malcolm Lawson. And look at that. I'm just looking at your Instagram for 2 seconds, and I immediately judge you off of that, right? This is how people get to judge you. People judge. I'm sorry. It's never going to stop. But people are going to judge. So make sure that if you're going to give them a reason to judge, they know that if they're going to start to format opinions, they are correct.
Okay. So yeah, I got to add my stories, add my highlights, add a profile with some links to it.
Yes.
That'll definitely get me started in the right direction.
100%, because you never know who's going to click on it or who's going to stumble upon it. IG is just the platform to be on today. Like it's super easy to use. It's very friendly. Yes, I know that they like to complicate it from time to time, but they are adding so many features that will allow people to go to their platform as opposed to any other. So
right.
IG has stolen ideas from Snapchat, from TikTok, from YouTube.
They all do. Yeah.
From Pinterest. It's crazy. Yes, they all do. Yeah. But Instagram it's just always a dominant one at the end of the day. I don't know why. I got a little butthurt, I'm not going to lie, when they stole the IG Reels. The first time that they did IG Reels, I was kind of furious with Instagram. I was like, really, IG? Like, you're so childish. Like, you've taken from Snapchat. You did them damage already. Like, poor guys are back in their headquarters saying, Instagram did it again. And then IGTV, YouTube kind of butted heads for a second. And now IG Reels and TikTok, I'm like, really? But you know what? Yeah. I see it now. I love IG Reels.
What's going on with IGTV? Is it worth posting anything to that right now? I know everybody really was excited about it when it came out. Thinking, it's a YouTube killer. And No.
I never saw it as a YouTube killer per se. It had potential for a second there, but I'm sorry, YouTube is always going to be number one. It will always be number one. So IGTV coming into play and trying to compete with YouTube was just, again, another childish move. But it was more so of, hey, we know you like YouTube, but we also offer a similar feature. So if you ever want to post long formatted videos on another platform besides YouTube, you can post it here too. So if you have long formatted videos, then yeah, go for it. Post it on IGTV. It doesn't hurt. It does not hurt. So
All right. Well, yeah, I think that's all great advice. Yeah, so guys, Ed and I are both with Real Broker. I think this is a great example of the type of training, collaboration, and the talent that we attract to Real Broker. If you guys want to learn more about Real Broker, feel free to reach out to Ed or myself. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about kind of this company. Ed, what's the best way that somebody can reach out to you? I'm guessing your Instagram page.
if I had my suit, I would say Instagram. Yes, shoot me a follow Instagram or shoot me a message, and let's chit chat on there. But always everything is on my Instagram. So yes.
All right. Well, Ed, I really appreciate your time today, man. I'll definitely be seeing you around, and I'll be working on my Instagram page for the next time we hop on a call like this.
Roger that. We'll film some videos together. We're gonna do some IG reels. We'll do pointers. Hey.
There we go. I'm gonna do one today, man.
Okay,
All
I
right.
challenge you. Sounds good, brother. Thanks for the love.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.